Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 27 of the podcast, The Pocket Stylist. Today, I'm really excited because we're going to be joined by Claire, and Claire has been on an amazing journey, which she's going to share with us. And we're going to talk about clothes and fashion and also Claire's journey along the way. And I hope it will help inspire you. It will give you a little bit of confidence to do different things. So let me first of all say hello to Claire. Hello, Claire. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. The sun is shining. It's beautiful where I am today, and I think it's due to hit quite nice heat actually later on. So I've got all my doors open, my windows open. Before I think we have to close it all up for the winter, isn't it? It's quite nice, almost like that one last breathe of fresh air into our houses.
Yes, yeah, and the last bit of laundry on the line and all that kind of stuff.
Oh my God, yeah. And do you know what? Saying that, I love having washing out on the line, because it's a bit of a pain putting it out there, isn't it? And getting it back in. But once it's done, I think it's wonderful. And yeah, and it saves on the tumble drying bill, so all good as well.
Yeah.
Win-win. Claire, tell us a little bit about your journey, because you've been doing the Cambridge Diet 1-to-1, haven't you? The 1-to-1 Cambridge weight plan.
That's right, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
I have.
Tell us a little bit about where it started, how you got on, and obviously I'd love to know about your kind of relationship with clothes along the way, and we'll talk as we go through, but I'd love to know kind of a bit about your wardrobe and things like that. So just tell us a little bit about your journey to start with.
So the story starts beginning of last summer, lockdown. We were out playing in the garden and we were taking some photos, and I looked at the photos back and I thought, oh my days, that is not a nice sight. I jumped on the scales. I was pretty horrified, and I thought I need to do something about this. So I got in touch with a friend who'd been losing weight. I wanted to know how she was doing it, and she put me in touch with a consultant locally to me for the 1-to-1 Diet by Cambridge weight plan.
Okay.
So a couple of days later, I chatted to Mel, and off I go. And within, I don't know, so that was beginning of June, and by the middle end of August, I'd lost over 4 stone.
Wow. Lockdown was tough, wasn't it? Because it threw so many curveballs at so many different people. But I think a lot of it, as well, as we were thrown into the unknown, weren't we? We were thrown into this kind of abyss that none of us had ever been involved in. From, first of all, we've all moved a lot less because, if you look at our daily lifestyles, we were either always busy, weren't we? If you're running around, you're doing stuff, you very rarely spent that quantity of time in your home. So I think lockdown came as such a curveball to so many. It threw us in different kind of scenarios, didn't it? So that's a huge amount of weight loss that you went through. And did you feel along the way very comfortable with what you were doing, and it was an easy process to follow and that type of thing?
Absolutely, yeah. To be honest, I've tried other diets before and had some success with them, but do you know what? This worked for me so much better because it was really easy. There's no kind of faffing with weighing stuff out or having to think about it. Essentially it's meal replacement. So, the products give you everything you need. And so after the first couple of days, I genuinely, I didn't feel hungry. It was easy. Food wasn't an option, and therefore it wasn't an option.
Yeah. It's a bit like you compartmentalize it a little bit, can you? So you can think, right, this is what I've got to do. It makes it easy because the plan is easy to follow.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you kind of can't go too far wrong. And then, of course, you've got your personal cheerleader alongside you every step of the way as well. So that's, it's great. And, of course, I joined the 1-to-1 diet through the kind of lockdown element. So it was, a different experience to previous. It was much more virtual and doorstep deliveries and stuff. But it still worked. And actually, it's good. And I think it's quite a good way to go. And I think I mentioned to you the other day that, I was doing so well, I became a consultant myself, and actually I manage my clients generally on a virtual basis as well. So, you know, we do lots of doorstep stuff or deliveries, and yeah, it just works. And it's because it's so easy.
Yeah, and you know, I think you saying about the whole remote doorstep, we've all learned how to do things so differently, but actually a lot of us have learned how to save time. You know, we went in, if you think of even lockdown, you know, I'm, as being a personal stylist, my business was always face to face. And suddenly when face to face couldn't happen, you had to kind of think, oh, okay, what am I going to do? And that's when we created the online wardrobe. And again, it's a platform where you can manage your whole of your wardrobe, but it enables us to do that literally across the world now. It doesn't even, you know, dictate to me in a specific country, so we can do that. I'm interested, so when you went through your process, obviously as you went through your process, and you said that you lost 4 stone, your wardrobe must have become a little bit more difficult to wear, because obviously as time went on, I'm assuming, and don't let me tell you this, but did things obviously start to not fit? They must have lost their shape, their structure in on your body shape. So how did you cope with that initially?
I found a newfound love for shopping, in fact.
Ooh.
Yeah. I remember one of the kind of moments for me. So, I mean, obviously, you know, I went through my wardrobe bit by
Yep.
bit, and it was really nice to see that stuff that had previously been a bit snug was starting to actually fit a bit nicer. But then you kind of go through that, oh, this is quite baggy now. And of course, I had gone from wanting to wear kind of dark, baggy, long clothes to cover all my lumps and bumps to suddenly going, oh, I've got this nice figure and I kind of want to show it off. So, you know, kind of started to buy different, you know, more tight fitting things. And then I discovered that a different kind of neckline was working, or different colours and patterns. And one of the things I was most surprised at was is it the Empress line, just under
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bust,
Yeah,
and some dresses. And yeah, I had some dresses like that. And previously that I got asked if I was pregnant, mostly when I wore them. And I put them on, I thought, oh, that actually looks nice, it's flattering. And so that was quite fun. And then I remember, so I'd gone from kind of I mean, if I'm being honest, it was kind of I was a size 18 pushing 20. And I remember going up to visit my dad, and I went shopping in the local Sainsbury's because I thought, well, you know, need a few more bits.
Yeah.
And but the problem is like I didn't know what size I was, and in my head I was still much bigger.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you know, and even down to my pants were no longer fitting me. They were falling down. You know, and don't get me wrong, big pants are still comfy,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. Bridget
I
Jones is
didn't need
still really
that.
comfortable, but you still got to have a pair that fit.
Yeah, I didn't need, you know, something that would fit me and the kids in. So so but I thought, I don't know what size I need, and of course there was no fitting rooms and stuff, so I had to kind of buy items, put them through the till, and then kind of go into the toilets and try. Very glamorous, you know, try them on, because I was, you know, 100 miles away from home and needed to know if I needed to take them back. And I remember picking up something in a size 12 to 14 thinking, not a chance. And it fitted. Obviously I put them on over my existing clothes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I cried sitting in the toilet at Sainsbury's crying, because it was I'd resigned myself, you know. I put on my weight after I had my children, and I thought, oh, I'll never get done. I'd be happy with a 16 or maybe a 14 at a push, but the fact that it had a 12 on it, my days, it was yeah.
Do you know what's so interesting? You've picked up on so many different points there. It's really interesting, and I'm just going to go backwards a little bit. You said initially that you just wore big and baggy clothes because you wanted to cover up. Now, when we dress any kind of body shape, it's about what other people see, and I guarantee you now, 95% of ladies look in the mirror and they go, okay, I don't like that bit about me, or I don't like this bit about me. It's instinctive, right? We're all really self-critical. Then when you go and meet your friends, they'll say to you, oh, Claire, I love your hair. Claire, I love your shoes. And you'll be thinking, hang on a minute, Why are you not looking at the bit that I don't think is very good on my body? And actually then that's what happens, is then you cover it, right? But visually, when someone else looks at you, when we dress a body shape, we create different focal points. So if you think about a body shape, if we think of a body shape as either a ball or a cube, right? So think of a present when you wrap it. When you wrap a ball, it's harder to wrap, isn't it? If you have a different, denser, stronger piece of wrapping paper. If you start to wrap it in a piece of wrapping paper that molds with the curves, you get that wonderful shape. If you just threw a piece of wrapping paper over the ball, what happens is you've just changed the whole shape of the ball. And that's exactly what happens when ladies just think, I'm just going to cover up. So actually, when ladies just cover up, they create a visual appearance of a larger shape than they actually are. And that goes from anybody, whether they're a size 6 through to a size 36. It doesn't matter. When we dress a body shape, it's about creating focal points that other people draw their eye to. So it could be the shoulders, it could be the sleeves, it could be the leg style of the trouser. It's all about that. So it doesn't matter what body shape you are, you still must give it some structure. Just covering it does it no favors at all. And therefore, that's when people look in the mirror and go, I look 10 times bigger than I thought I am. So that's why, from a stylist point of view, it's so important to create the torso area of the body. So literally from under your arms down to your waist, we create that shape. It doesn't have to cling. It can still move through the tummy area. It can still have movement to it. But if we create structure through the torso, it's that visual appearance of a rectangle rather than a ball. So I wanted to just highlight that, because like you said, you then said, when I went into Sainsbury's, and they have a great collection, by the way, you said I chose a different size and that type of thing. And interestingly, you said it was more fitting. So that goes then back to the whole thing. It doesn't matter if you'd have even picked up a size 16, an 18 or a 20. If it had given you structure through your torso, you would have absolutely looked incredibly different anyway, right? So that's a one tip I would love to give everybody. The other thing that's really interesting, you said about it made me feel. That word feel is so important. And for anyone who has listened to my podcast and has seen me on my, on Instagram and things like that, I'm a massive thing about feel. Your clothes, no matter where you get them from, whether you buy them from Primark or whether you buy them from Prada, they need to give you that wonderful feeling. Like you said, when you put that on, you thought, wow, I cried. The feeling of it was so emotional that you put it on, and felt good in it, ignore the size label on it, but that you
put just a pair of pants.
that you put on and went, oh wow, I feel good. So it's, from a stylist point of view, it doesn't matter where you buy it from, it's how it makes a person feel. And it could be the right color, it could be the right style, it could be just a necklace that, I don't know, had sentimental value, but every time you put it on, it makes you feel good. That's how clothing should make you feel. And that's absolutely, I'm a 100% person about doing that. Anything that makes you feel good. Sometimes it's, ladies put on, because if you think about it, lots of people choose their clothes as a form of suit of armor. So we never go out stark naked, right? Because, that would be too much, right? But we put on we put on a piece of clothing that makes us go, okay, I've covered my body. I feel a bit more confident. So if you think about nakedness against a piece of clothing you put on that clothing as a piece of armor. So it needs to make you feel fantastic. So then what did you do moving forward then? Because I'm assuming then, obviously, as you've had your weight loss, excuse me, the majority of your wardrobe then was not the right shape and that type of thing. So how have you worked going into the high street or the shopping centres? I know you were in lockdown, so I'm assuming you did some pieces online as well. But did it open up? Did you feel it opened up your world to like, wow, I can now go and look in different places?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so start to look in different places, look at different styles, colours, all of that kind of stuff as well. But you get all these kind of nice little boutique shops that have like small, medium, and large, and that's kind of it. And the large, is barely, covers a leg a lot of the time. I could start to shop in those places again, and it's funny actually. I'd found some of my old clothes, a couple of really nice dresses I'd worn pre-children, and I had given them to my stepdaughter, who was, young and slim and able to fit in those. And but I looked and I thought, but I could fit back in those again now. And then, she was having to clear out of her wardrobe and kind of didn't want some stuff, and there I was able to go, well, I'll have that and I'll have that. So yeah, wearing clothes from my teenage stepdaughter as well.
That's amazing. Did you find it slightly difficult to go, well, I was, this shape and I was this size. Now I'm this shape. And like you said, when you went into Sainsbury's, you said, good old Sainsbury's, get a good old plug today, aren't they? But when good. But when you went in and you said, I didn't know what size I was, how did you kind of work that out? But by just literally trial and error? Did you think, okay, well, I'm going to try this size? Because obviously for the listeners, it's one of those common kind of queries, isn't it? Once you've changed body shape, whether when you've lost some weight, you kind of think, oh, actually, I now I can embrace this new shape. But how did you start to go, okay, well, was it just trial and error of, right, I'm going to try a size 16, then I'm going to try a size 14? Did you kind of work that out through literally trial and error?
Yeah, predominantly, yeah. Trial, yeah. That was basically it, and of course I would automatically go and reach for the larger size and then go, oh, that's probably not going to work anymore. And so it was literally a trial and error. But I remember one of my friends also gave me a tip. I don't know whether this is one you've heard of or whether one you'd be interested in, but she said that it's always worked for her, and I tried it and it did work for me. And the waist, if you've got like a pair of jeans and you look like completely mental in a shop doing this, but if you get them and you put them around your waist, and then so they're double banded over, and then put them around your neck, and then they're kind of, as the waist joins, if it's kind of comfortable around your neck, it will be comfortable around your waist. And I don't know if you've heard of that one, but anyway.
I actually haven't, but I might go and try that later on to see if that relates, and then I can go, I learnt this tip today from Claire. And it's true, isn't it? Because there are some amazing shops in the high street. There's some amazing shops online and online retailers. Was there one retailer that you had always avoided and thought, no? And did you kind of, I was going to say, did you put your brave pants on? And then I suddenly thought, well, let's make sure they fitted. But it's like, did you kind of think, well, I used to avoid that one, but actually I'm going to go and have a look, because you had that inner confidence to go, because I can.
I guess the one that's, if you like, there's one that springs to mind in the pre-children and pre-weight gain.
Yeah,
I might have gone into New Look and picked up some stuff, but as I got larger, I often found that New Look clothes would not fit me, even in the larger sizes, and they wouldn't fit me, my shape, my size, or what have you. And so I would never go into New Look. I'd just walk past and look for the kind of the places I knew that would do things that would fit me or that were stretchy enough, and look for the elasticated waists and all that kind of stuff. But so I was able to kind of go back into New Look and go, actually, I can fit back in these clothes now. And
it's a confidence, isn't it? It's that inner confidence of going, I can. And you know what, I always say to everybody, you'll never buy the whole of your wardrobe in one retailer, ever. Because you just won't, because you'll have an eclectic look to your wardrobe that creates these amazing outfits using, you know, different brands. But what's really interesting is you'll always find something in each retailer. So you'll never buy your whole wardrobe from one, you'll cherry pick. But also, and people, when I make this comment, they're probably hopefully going to be nodding as they're listening. Every retailer's sizes are different. So whether you've got a size, you're nodding there and laughing too, whether you're a size 10, 12, a 14, a 16, I guarantee you they're not uniformed across the board. So, you know, people like Zara, Mango, some of H&M, some of New Look, some of River Island, they cut quite narrow, right? So predominantly it's about, I always say to people, use the size as a guide. Use the size label as a guide. Do not get fixated on that guide, because everywhere's different. So I know for a fact, if I shop in I don't know, if I have to shop in somewhere like Stradivarius, I have to go up a size. I have to, because they just cut too narrow. But then you can take into account the style of the garment. So this season, there's lots of oversized shirts, right? So I had a client the other day who is a size 16, and we were shopping, and I wanted to show her this to demonstrate exactly what we're talking about. Beautiful lilac shirt in one of the retailers. I gave her the size 16, huge, absolutely massive. Dropped it to the 14, still the same, didn't have any structure to it, didn't have any shape. Dropped it to the 12, still the same. Dropped it to the 10, still the same. Gave her the 8, perfect. And she was like, wow. And I said, this is where, in a lot of the cases, you have to ignore that size label, go for the shape of the garment. Because if, like this season, I said to you, oversized shirts, they're ginormous. You're going to need to drop at least 2 or 3 sizes. Garments such as the batwing knitwear or batwing tops, you've got to drop a size, because the batwing creates so much material from the sleeve through the waist. If you go too big, you're just going to create masses and masses of material, whereas actually what we're trying to do is still define the body shape. So it's so interesting how perception, and I know I've got clients who have cut their size labels out because they don't want to look at the size label, but they know that actually going up a size or going down a size creates what we call the perfect fit. And that's what it's all about. It's creating the perfect fit for you and working that out. And also saying, in some cases, certain garments will not necessarily be your friend because they're going to be harder to find, or that you find them more comfortable. But it's not getting het up about it, thinking, I need this. Actually, wear what you feel comfortable in, wear what you enjoy. Is there a garment now that you absolutely love wearing that you might not have necessarily gravitated to before?
I'm conscious I've started wearing a lot more dresses, so I'm much more kind of, and more fitted kind of dresses as well. I've got, so that's very exciting.
Lovely, isn't it? Because the dress is the unsung hero, right? Because all you need is underwear, shoes, and you're done. And that's what's so easy about a dress. You could try a jumpsuit as well, because a jumpsuit, again, can create exactly the same shape.
Because I used to avoid those because they would cling to my belly and kind of my problem area. And that's interesting. I should try that.
If you think of the dress shape that you've got, so a dress that is more fitted through the torso, but actually has movement through the middle, right? So think of a dress shape, but all you're going to do is transpose that into wide legs. It's perfect. It's another style that you can use. So what would you say moving forward now? Does your wardrobe look different to what it used to, would you say? Did you keep garments in there just in case, or did you go, no, do you know what? I'm moving things through because that's not what I want to look at anymore. Where did you sit now? Where do you sit now with your wardrobe?
I mean, I got rid of about 4 big boxes and 4 big black bags of clothes,
Yeah.
just because they were just too big. They weren't doing me any favors.
Yeah.
I did keep some, because actually when I went through my wardrobe and put them on, it was like, actually this looks a lot better now, or or tuck that in with a belt, and it's going to look really nice. So yeah, I kept a few things, but most of my wardrobe has ended up being completely revamped. But I think I was saying to you as well that I was getting married, well, eventually last year, with several kind of attempts later, but I'd already bought my wedding dress. And it's interesting to say about the sizes, because I mean, I can't tell you what size that was off the top of my head, but it was a much larger size than even I was then. But because it was fitted around the torso,
Yeah.
and it was had a fishtail on it, even at my larger size, it still felt like it looked really nice. I kind of felt a bit Jessica Rabbit in it, and yeah, I mean, of course, that had to be taken in quite significantly.
But
When
isn't it
we got married.
interesting? It is. It's really interesting. First of all, I'm going to say I do apologise for my dog, because this is the joys of working from home, right? And my dog has managed to do cameo appearances on probably every podcast that I've recorded recently, because as soon as someone comes to the door, he barks. And although I have all my doors shut, like we do, just in case, I have got a wonderful, beautiful 3-year-old Rottweiler. But as soon as somebody knocks on my front door, he lets people know he's here. So, when people must think, oh God, there's the dog again. But the joys of working from home and recording your podcast from here.
Same with me. Mine sings to the doorbell, so yeah, if anyone comes, you'll hear. "Hello."
Yeah. And isn't it always, but you couldn't odds it, could you? That's what's really interesting. It's silent. I live in the middle of nowhere, seriously. So I very rarely see anyone throughout the day. And it's always the way when somebody records my podcast. So I do apologise for that. And I apologise to the listeners, but you're used to him by now, because he does it every time. Did you feel, so going back to your wedding dress, did you feel when you had it taken in, did you feel absolutely sensational on the day? Go back to that word, feel.
Yeah, it was amazing. And even though we had to put it on in a hurry because we were all running late, but that's another story. Yeah, and just incredible. I felt exactly like I should do on my wedding day.
Yeah, and then you know what? I think it's kind of a lovely way to end our chat today, because it goes back to feel. It goes back to how clothes make you feel, and you know what it is. It's about that wonderful confidence they give you. It's the wonderful positive mindset that when you put the right piece of clothing on and that type of thing, it's absolutely how I love to work with my clients. It's all about how it makes you feel. I just want to go back to, also, you said, because when you had been part of the one-to-one Cambridge Weight Plan, you found it so successful, and you found the support that you had. What did you call the lady that was your support? The cheerleader?
Personal cheerleader, yeah.
Oh, the personal cheerleader. Yeah. But you said that you went on to be a consultant yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, that's right. So I did my training and accreditation at the end of July, signed up my first clients, and I haven't looked back since. And it's interesting, you're talking about the clothes and their kind of, how they look and how they make you feel. Because actually my business name in the one-to-one is Look Good, Feel Good One-to-One.
Wow.
So yeah, and I've got my little logos and all that kind of stuff, because actually that's true, isn't it? Look good, feel good.
Listen, it's massive, and that whole look good, feel good. That word to me, feel, is so important, because, and that's where we go back to the whole thing about, it doesn't matter whether you wear Primark or Prada. Seriously, it's how it makes you feel. So if the listeners that have been listening are thinking, well, do you know what, I'd like to know a little bit more, and I'd like to have a chat with Claire about the kind of program and all that type of thing. Claire, how can they get hold of you?
They can get hold of me on my Facebook page, so that's at Look Good Feel Good 121 numeric digits. They can look me up on the One-to-One by Cambridge website, find a consultant, Claire Parker.
Where are you based, Claire?
Sorry?
Where are you based?
I'm down in Devon.
Oh, lovely part of the world.
Yeah, not as sunny as where you are today, but overcast today.
Oh no, but it is a beautiful part of the world, definitely.
Yeah,
But like you said,
love it.
it's all remote. You can work with anyone anywhere, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I've had clients across the UK, so you know, I pop them in the post and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, I've had people up in Leicester and beyond where yeah,
Oh, brilliant.
virtual consultations and send the stuff up through. It's all good.
Oh, super. Listen, it's been wonderful talking to you. I could actually talk to you, like all my guests, forever. But you know when you kind of go, no, you didn't need to stop now, Lisa. But thank you so much for taking the time to come and chat to me. Thank you for being open with your story, because it's wonderful for people to see how the plans worked for them, how you took it on, how you embraced it, and how obviously from my point of view, your wardrobe and whatever has kind of adapted to it as well, and how you removed things out and you've managed to go into different shops and all that type of thing. It has been a complete pleasure working with you, listening to you today and chatting with you today. Anybody, again, if you want to touch base with Claire, she's given you all the details. Thank you to everybody who's listening. Again, I apologise for my wonderful dog George doing his cameo appearance again today. But thank you to everyone for listening, and we will see you all again soon. Thanks, Claire. Bye.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.